today's direct weather 2.0 video, we're going to be talking about the upper air today. Not only that, we're going to be talking about what this will mean for the surface, so basically what you'll feel as we head through the months of January, and we're even going to be taking a look at February, which I think will be especially cold and wintry. So let's dive into things. What are we even taking a look at here? What is this? This does not look normal probably, and it's not. This is a very particular type of map that I don't usually show, and this is our 10 millibar temperature anomalies. What does that mean? So the 10 millibar is going to be 100,000 feet in the sky. Yes, you heard me correctly. 100,000 feet, or about 19 miles up in the sky. There's a concept in meteorology called the top-down approach, and it's used by many professional meteorologists because it gives us a great idea of what to expect for the upcoming pattern. What happens at the top eventually impacts the bottom, so it's better to start at the top. So what we're doing today is doing exactly that, starting at the top. We're going to be talking about the AO in particular, which is called the Arctic oscillation. It mostly refers to the temperatures happening over the Arctic Circle. Now, as you can see, we get colder temperatures way up there in the sky for the Arctic Circle by the time we're reaching the very end of December. This is called a positive AO. Very unfavorable, and what it actually causes is warm air to be able to move up into areas like Asia, sometimes Africa and America here, although we do get colder temperatures despite this. But I want to show you the opposite because we see this warm blob set up over Asia right now. What we're going to see is this is actually going to move front and center here to the Arctic Circle, and this is going to play a big role in what we see over the next couple of months. If this is in fact correct, and we do see by the time we're taking a look at the 10th, 11th time frame here of January, that we get warm temperatures set up over the high areas in the sky for the Arctic Circle. What this would mean is this is a negative AO. What this does is the opposite. Instead of drawing that warm air into these temperate areas, it actually pushes the cold air away from the Arctic, as you can see, into these more temperate areas of the northern hemisphere. And don't worry about the United States. It's going to be cold by the surface here. This is just the very high layers. So don't worry about what it's actually showing here because this is too high up to even feel at all. You don't have to worry about that. So let's move a little bit closer to the surface in a minute. But what we can see is that this warm air mass stays there for at least from the 10th to the 20th time frame. But really, it's almost front and center all the way from the 1st. It moves in and it stays until about the 20th and then moves out eventually, perhaps. Although this is up for debate here as we approach the end of January. Keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and move towards the surface. I'm going to start off in the shorter range here so we can take a look at what we expect for January. We'll move on to more of a seasonal approach later on. But what we see is that we get a massive trough here at the end of December, starting on the 28th and lasting until about the 30th or 31st. We get a second one there entering into the United States in the eastern portion. This is going to be very short-lived and very small, but this could bring some stormy weather and very cold conditions to areas in the southeast, mid-Atlantic, and even into the northeast. Not necessarily a massive trough. This is an Arctic blast. By all means, an Arctic blast. We see warm air is reaching all the way into Canada and even into Alaska there. And then the east sees this Arctic air mass just really shoot into the mid-Atlantic region. And this would be extremely cold if this ends up verifying around January 6th. So a third trough already by January 6th. And we're not even seeing that upper air pattern play a role yet. It's going to take some time to get to the surface. It's 100,000 feet up. How long do you think that cold air will take to sink down? Probably about a month is what you can expect. So we'll be taking a look at what we expect for the end of January into the beginning of February in a moment. But we see the cold air wants to stick around in the east. There's some more mild times. Like this would probably be quite seasonable here. And this model showing it on January 30th. So a little bit cooler, a little bit warmer. Nothing too crazy here. It's as we move on just a little bit more, we see another trough by the 18th and then another massive one by the 22nd there. And that one lasts a couple of days until about the 24th or 25th. We get another one by the 26th into the 28th. And then it looks like we could get into a little bit of some warm air before we get into the cold once more. So we probably just took a look at about 5, 6, maybe even 7 troughs between now and the end of January that we're expecting. But that upper air pattern over the Arctic Circle would not have even impacted the surface yet. So this is all happening despite not having that warmer air mass set up over the Arctic Circle yet. So let's take a look at the monthly view. Keep in mind this is a mean average model and you're going to get a lot less anomalous looks here, but it would likely be much more extreme in the blue direction here and much more extreme in the yellow and even red direction here in the west. Keep that in mind. But this is the look for January. All of the jet stream really is going to be a better approach here. And we can see that this jet stream dives southward as we head into the east and then up the coast. So we're expecting more of a ridge look out west and more of a trough look in the east, according to this European seasonal model. Now, February is the same exact look. We get this very cold trough look in the east, very warm look here for Western Canada, even up into Alaska, which is a great positive PNA look to go in tandem with this negative AO up here. So that's the AO, this is the PNA. And definitely this would all encourage colder air to move into the east, troughs and even storms up the coast perhaps. So very wintry look as a result of that big time negative AO look. And certainly I think that this could spell the polar vortex making an appearance. Oftentimes in years past when we've seen the coldest air masses, think of last December, think of 2013 and 2014, those winters. It's events like these that happen at the 10 millibar height, very high up there in the atmosphere, that cause these polar vortex events to happen. And the signs are all there that we could have that later on down the road as we approach the end of January into the beginning of February. We're going to be watching that time frame for extreme cold, perhaps, if this all comes together as these ensemble models are showing. Anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit more of a technical update on what I'm expecting over the next couple of months and things that I'm seeing and that I'm analyzing, and give you guys some insight into how I analyze those things. Leave a like and comment down below if you enjoyed this type of video. Let me know if you found it useful. Be sure to subscribe as I plan on uploading multiple times a week to this channel as well. You can even hit the bell icon for those notifications when we upload. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.